All right, welcome back to Formidable. I'm Steve. Today we're going to talk about exercise selection specifically for the shoulders. And of course, the shoulders are made up of three muscles. You've got your front delt or your anterior delt, your lateral delt or the middle delt, some people call it, and then you have your posterior delt or your rear delt. For anyone that's trying to improve your physique, it's important to have good proportion muscles for all three. So typically most people get more than enough activation through bench pressing on the front delt. So I don't prescribe a exercise specifically for the front delt. Maybe a front raise, but I don't do that because you can kind of see, at least on my arm, I have more than enough front delt development. I'm not a big guy, but proportionately for my shoulder, I have more than enough here because I do plenty of bench pressing. This is the area I want to focus on to try to improve on my physique. And then the tricky one is the rear delt or the posterior delt, which is often neglected and forgotten about with most people. But it's important to have good overall proportion of the shoulders. We all want the tank top toned and trim and tight shoulders for the summertime, and the guys want that nice capped delt here. The ladies want the nice sleek shoulders, again, to kind of look beautiful in a tank top. So the three exercises I'm going to give target and successfully will develop the muscle or tighten tone the muscles for the ladies of the shoulders. So exercise number one is a dumbbell overhead press. So you could be seated or standing, something straight up in the air where the dumbbell is back around where the ear is, not out front. Out front, now you're going to activate the front delt, which is not what most people are going to want. Most people want to target the lateral delt. So by keeping the dumbbell back around the ear, then you get good lateral delt development there. The mistake is to be out front, which is why I don't like to do a barbell, because a barbell, you're forced to keep it out in front, and now you're getting a lot of front delt activation, where we're really trying to target the lateral delt, the biggest of the muscles in the shoulders. So the muscle fibers kind of run in this direction. They kind of come up through here, which is why the second exercise I chose is a lateral raise. So a dumbbell lateral raise, which stimulates the lateral head of the deltoid. So important on the lateral head is to get good wrist position, where you'll kind of see that if you have the dumbbell in your hand and your wrist is flexed down, then you're taking some of the stress off of the lateral head of the delt. But if you bring the wrist to a neutral position or slightly even elevated and keep it that way throughout the exercise, you're going to get much better lateral head development. So also important to try to keep the thumb or the palms down. A lot of people will tend to kind of sling in different directions. Even out front's not good. You want to stay as lateral as you can. You must stay upright with good wrist position. So that's the exercise number two. And then exercise number three, again, because proportion of shoulder development is important, we need to hit the posterior deltoid. And the best way I find to do that is a rear dumbbell fly. So hunched over and then flaring out. Just like that. Almost out and back slightly. That exercise is important and one of the greatest exercises you can do, along with cable face pulls. If you have a cable machine, a rope cable face pull is also a nice rear delt development exercise. But I like the dumbbell rear flies. Most people have access to dumbbells, so that's why these three exercises can work for just about everybody, because you probably have access to dumbbells. So just in summary, dumbbell press, two hands or one I actually think there's a bonus to doing one hand. It takes, of course, it's going to take longer because you have to do one set at a time for each arm. But there's a big time core activation when you're standing and doing a dumbbell press. You really have to activate the core and your obliques to maintain good stability as you're performing that exercise. I think you can get some good abdominal and core exercises in just by doing the single arm dumbbell press. That would be my preference. But again, 2 arms, seated or standing, is also fine. Lateral raises, again, important to keep the thumbs down and raising up, not too far out in front, and try to minimize any body English as best you can. And then third, to hit the posterior delt, is the rear cable flies. All right, so there are the 3 best exercises for overall improvement of your physique of the shoulders. We'll talk to you in the next video.